Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
Yo, you in the bed, bro? Like,
I mean, I'm just chilling now. I'm just chilling right now.
No, in the bed, bro. This is like hilarious. I guess I had my robe on for an episode, so I can't knock you for being in the bed for an episode. So
I figure I just go ahead and relax and kick back. That way, when we get finished, though, I'm just gonna go ahead,
go ahead and doze off. Respect.
You get up about what you say? You get up about 4 or 5?
Nah, man, I'm about 6:30. This ain't even where I lay my head at night, but I'm in a bed.
Yeah,
rooms got rooms.
My rooms got rooms.
You talking about closets? All right, man. Look, I know we joking around here, but we. Prior to him record, we had a serious conversation going on. So I just got one question. Is freedom of speech really freedom of speech? It gets deep.
In 2022, nope. Everybody's sensitive. So
everybody's sensitive.
You gotta tiptoe around everything. And I mean, it's just sometimes just let somebody just express their point of view or something. Just hear them out from there, even though you might not agree with it. But that's still that person's thoughts or feelings. But like we were talking about the whole cancel culture, it's just a popular term these days, and it's used so freely that people just, they say one thing and stuff blow up, and it's like cancel him or cancel her, and it's just crazy. And social media too. My bad. I was going to say social media too help speed up the process, because 10, 15, 20 years ago, you couldn't learn about, somebody could say something now and they hit Twitter and now it's gone. Everybody in the world know what's going on. But back in the day, news didn't spread that fast.
True.
The crazy part, like, I was actually gonna go to social media because some of it honestly is good. Like, so many folk out here got some stupid stuff coming out of their mouth, and
right.
they need to be shut down. Like, that's the thing. That's but you just made the point. Like, there's such a spotlight on a moment in an instant, and as soon as it happens, it literally, the world sees it. And then on the flip side of that, like, when something goes viral, it becomes like legit. It's almost like everybody on social media is the expert, but the standard for whether or not this is valid is whether or not it went viral, not what actually was said or what happened or the background. Nobody wants to know all of that. It's just it's a bite size, version of whatever took place. And whoever's voice is the loudest in the room at that moment wins.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
So when I think about just the whole freedom of speech and everything, man, and don't get me wrong, I am a firm believer in. I think you should be held accountable for what you say, right? However, I am also very strong-willed in saying that sometimes we just got to offer people some grace, bro. Like, we live in a world now where you can say something and people will put it as law. Like, there's no room for you to learn from what you said. There's no room for you to have open dialogue with somebody about what you said. It's immediate, like, court of public opinion. And if people disagree with what you say, that's it, right? And they immediately go to counsel you. And it's like, what happened to, whether you agree with me or not, what happened to someone just, let's talk it out? right? Like, say if I say something that you disagree with, let's have dialogue and talk about it versus just like, oh no, man, counsel last name good, counsel JD, like what he talking about? Like he on some blah blah blah. Now it's like, fam, can I have my opinion and you have your opinion? Like, and then we can agree to disagree. Like, we don't have to be on one accord with it, with everything that we say. And that's the part that I really don't rock with, bro, because we live in a world now where people views are changing, lifestyles are changing, culture is changing, and that's the reality of where we live now. Like 2022 is not 2000, right? The things that we may have saw in 2000, we're not seeing, and even if we did see them in 2000, we're seeing them on a larger scale in 2022. A lot of that has to do with, like you said, social media and the access to things, right? Like there was a time where if we just look at news on just a very basic level, something will happen and a big, like a CNN or somebody will have to cover it. And then those smaller news stations will pull from the CNNs and the Foxes and all of that. And then it will hit the newspapers at local level. Versus now, bro, like CNN is quoting somebody off of Twitter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, this
That's
you
wild.
literally just, what you just said is the thing. People no longer form their own opinions anymore. So you know, like if you really think about it, bro, like what happens is somebody tweets something, somebody puts something on the gram, and people automatically subscribe to that as that's true, that's it. And then there's a response or a comment, and then people subscribe to that and say, no, this is it. Like nobody actually takes the time to process and think for themselves anymore. It's all
Right.
about whatever is the most popular, you know, opinion, or whatever let's put it like this, whatever looks popular for me to agree with is
There
what
you
I'm
go.
going with. And so there isn't room for like free thought or communication or even trying to understand, you know,
Right.
what you meant by that. There's not even room for me to process it and then give my opinion on it. It's just, let me just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because the flow is a millisecond, bro. It's as fast as you're scrolling. That's the flow. That's just
And
the
on top
reality.
of on top of that, man, it's just people reposting and retweeting fake stuff. Like they'll see it and don't do their research on it, and then they'll post it, and it's stuff, the false narratives are going viral.
Bro, speaking of that, I saw something that blew my mind that I didn't know exists. There are sites that you can have, like, I forgot the name of the site, so I can't really properly notate exactly the site, but it's a site that has fake headlines, right? Like the template looks like a news template. So you can go in and put your own headline. You can put your own like sub story, put the date. You can fill out all of this stuff and it look like it's on like a CNN or like you know, local news. And people just post this stuff. And like, of course, if you're not really paying attention, if you see something that looks like it's from the news, you automatically think like, oh, this gotta be right. Like
this legit.
Yep.
And it could be a bogus headline. It could be something that you know that is not right, but the look of it looks so authentic that you automatically think like, oh, this gotta have some type of validity to it, or like it wouldn't be on the news. And I was just like, bro, this is crazy. Like you can make up you can say anything, bro.
And I feel like everybody has some awareness of that. Like most, like, okay, come on. Most people have to know that what they actually see on social media, 9 times out of 10, is somewhat fabricated, right? Like not only are there websites like that, but there are literally bots that are just randomly posting algorithmic like responses and things that are not real. They're not coming from real people. They're more or less put there to like track and monitor your, you know, how you flow, so that you can get the ads that they want you to see or whatnot. You know, it's just kind of crazy that people don't really like use social media or even watch the news with a grain of salt, like in the back of their head. You know, like for me, it's like it's just crazy to watch, bro. Like people lock into that stuff, and honestly, you can mess around and have your whole religion just off of the things that you used to scrolling in, and then next thing you know, you're looking at a feed that's really tailored to you, not even knowing that it's tailored to you. You thinking you're seeing news, but you know, your whatever the social media platform you're on is honestly being tailored to what you like. So it's just your entertainment at that point, but you taking it as face value.
I mean, I had some clue of that, but I didn't really notice it until like I really got into golf, bro, because like I started looking at golf videos. And then I just noticed like my whole IG just be full of different golf videos popping up. I was like, oh, I trained the algorithm, which is a good thing because now you can train the algorithm to give you what you want, right? What you want to consume. So if I'm always clicking and liking on like golf stuff or gardening stuff, then that's what my feed is going to be for the most part. And so but I've also noticed the flip side of that. All it takes is to click on like one or two, quote unquote, negative things.
Right.
Like you
go to the feed is coming.
That's the thing, right? It took me a month to build this, the happy stuff. Click on ATL Scoop and like one story about some accident on 285, or click on Georgia Followers or whatever, and click on Shade Room and like 3 posts on Shade Room. And in a matter of 5 minutes, that's all your feed gonna be, like that type of stuff. And it's like, bruh, it's so amazing how the algorithms are geared to just really give us what they think that we want. And I know why they're doing that, but it's just like, it's a wild world that we live in, bro. Like 3 clicks.
The scary part is like that can literally shift the culture. Like there are like let's look at I mean, you know, I hate to bring them up, but the last president that we had who, you know, literally used that kind of stuff to incite an insurrection. Let's leave it there. Like honestly, that's how serious it got, right? I mean, come on, like people will follow anything, bro, like blindly. So I don't know, man. You just gotta like, social media is so crazy. Like that is, people live and die by that stuff, and it will completely brainwash you if you're not careful. Depending on what your content, because it all really does depend on what you like, right? Like, what's your feed? What's that junk feed that you really subscribe to?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Corey, you quiet over there, man. You gotta get out them DMs.
I'm just taking. No, I'm not in the DM. I'm thinking about like, I'm trying to think about. All right, so now we in the social media age, and how algorithms work based on like, you know, different things that you like. But now that I think about it, really, and I guess it wasn't called algorithms back then, because I'm thinking about now, like, if you're watching, let's say for example, you're watching Nickelodeon or some kind of cartoon network TV show, the commercials are going to be kid related commercials.
100%.
So really, are you looking at or you know, I'm over my older cousin's house and they're watching game shows. I'm noticing all the commercials are like this kind of medication or this kind of medical equipment. So technically, man, that stuff been around. Now it's just more advanced. It's more advanced to cater to, you know, social media.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good point.
You're basically being marketed to the audience, right? Like it's no different if we start looking at Food Network, you're gonna see cookware products, or you might even see, you know, I mean, it's just the realistic view is like there are more women watching HDTV and Food Network than men, so you're gonna see feminine products, you're gonna see like all types of things that's more so targeted to women versus targeted to men, bro. That's just the reality of the situation. The difference is on social media, it's in the palm of your hand. It's just like, no matter what you want to do, bro, like right now, if I go and say that, this is the perfect example, bro, like just got the crib, I've been getting pre-sorted standard mail non-stop asking me, do I want to get like some type of insurance?
Yeah.
I'm talking about nonstop, bro. Like, this is your last warning for
mortgage. Yep. Mortgage insurance.
And I'm like, and I looked it up. I was like, yo, like, why am I getting this? And it's because when you buy a home, that's public record. They have access to that, and by law, they can just send away. Like, yes, you can get your name taken off that list, but like to go through all of that, to go what you have to go through, it's like it is what it is. But I say all that to say they're gonna find a way to target people and get that information to people, right? It's no different with social media. If there's a glimpse of interest from you, you're gonna get bombarded with that. No matter what, good or bad, if you show just a slight of interest in any certain topic, they're going to give it to you, bro. If you go online and go to Amazon or go and type in Google lawnmowers, you're going to be getting lawn care stuff for the next 2 weeks, bro. Like, it is what it is. That's just how everything works. So I say all that to say maybe we have to do a better job of catering our mindset, catering our lifestyle, catering our own life algorithm, so to speak. What do we want to see? Like, what do we want to bring to be poured into us?
Hey, I got a question, dog. You just made me think about something because you started talking about that, and I my mind trailed to the reality. Like, we've been looking for back patio furniture, and every time I go shop for it, it ends up on Facebook, in the ads. But then I thought about, okay, Meta. What is Meta, bro? Like what's the metaverse, dude? Like what is this new? Because I keep hearing it, people buying into it. It looks like virtual reality or something. Like,
so that's the thing, though, right? Like, so the realistic part is Meta is just what we know as Facebook. They changed their name from Meta to Facebook. Like, so parent company, basically. So the parent company is Meta. Then up under the parent company, you got Facebook, you got WhatsApp, you got whatever else Facebook at one point in time owned. But the parent company is Meta. So it'll be the equivalent of Motown. It's or Marlon Montgomery is like the biggest entity, but you got your kid, you know what I'm saying? It's everything that's falling up under that umbrella. But the confusion came in is that they changed the name to Meta, and then they immediately started talking about a metaverse. And so it's just like a virtual reality type thing. Like, they have a product, I think it's called Oculus, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I've heard of that.
But it's just a virtual reality type thing, VR headset you put on, and like you can go to games, you can shop, you can do all these different things in a virtual space. But the unique thing about Facebook, and I think this is just the genius of their marketing, is that they're trying to connect all of that stuff together, when in fact it's not even really like it's connected, but they're trying to do like Google or Kleenex. Like how we talk, we don't even say tissue, we say Kleenex. We don't say, back in the day, Xerox. I forgot the term for it, but Xerox is a company, but people would say Xerox to get a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now, Google it. But Google is a company, bro. Like, but your first thing you think is to look up something. You say Google it. You don't even say go and look it up. You say, Google it. And that's just how they've made the brand of a company mean so much to everybody. So like, that's all they're doing, bro. It's genius on how it's working out. But Meta has become synonymous with virtual reality, is what they're trying to do. And they've already succeeded, bro. Like, they got a whole term, metaverse, bro.
Meta world peace.
I'm seeing stuff where like people buying like real estate and Meta and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like what is this? Like,
Man, look, I've talked to people about like NFTs and all of this stuff. I mean, and we've all invested in some cryptocurrency. The best thing I can tell you is this: I don't fully understand any of it, but I just don't want to be late. And that's
Follow the
about as
wave.
far as my understanding is. But like, I don't want to be late. I saw what Bitcoin did. I saw what what's the other one? Ethereum did.
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen what Google has become, what Amazon has become over the years. That's my thing now, bro. At the tender age of 37, soon to be 38, I just don't want to be late anymore, bro. So even if I don't have a full understanding of something, as long as I got a little something I can throw at it, I'm gonna throw at it. And if I can make a return off of it, I'll make a return off of it. I just don't want to be late. I don't want to be late no more, bro. That's all I got from it.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. World
Yeah, it
changing.
is. It is though. It's super interesting. I mean, we'll see, bro. In a couple of years, we'll have to see how all this stuff really play out, because I can't remember, we was in our group chat talking about like Bitcoin specifically, but do y'all remember it was like a Bitcoin ATM machines? Like those were big in the hood at one point in time. Like you can go in and buy crypto, like buy Bitcoin with like through like an ATM type situation. But they were only putting them in hood stores. And at the time, like they were talking about Bitcoin was kind of like a fad, same way they were doing with like all these other coins now. But, you know, it was like, oh yeah, invest in Bitcoin. And nobody really had a true understanding of what Bitcoin was. And then we look up and Bitcoin was like at $60,000. And we're like, bruh, like, I don't want to miss out again, bro. I don't want to miss out again. We could have been retired by now. For real, for real.
Long retired. You know. And I'm just thinking about all them investments, all them crypto, everything called crypto now. Crypto arena in LA, Staples gone. It's a
So
wave.
if they're doing it like that, bro, all I'm saying is there's something there. You just renamed an arena. Something there, bro. That's all I'm saying. I don't fully know what it is. And unfortunately, we probably already too late, but I just don't want to be late. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be somewhere in the middle. If I can't be early adapter, at least somewhere in the middle before it quadruple.
Hey, everything I learned from y'all, man. It's like, bro, it's so much stuff out there, man. I'd be like, bro, I can't even keep up.
It is a lot. It's a lot of stuff, but I don't know. I mean, I think I don't even know how we got here, bro. We started off talking about like not being able to.
Yeah, I know. It's freedom of speech.
But we got. I mean, and I guess in a weird way, they really are all connected, because getting back to the core of everything, being able to talk freely about stuff. I said this before we started, and I want to say it again. I really want us to somehow get to a place where people can say what they want to say. And before we go to counseling people, before we go to writing people off, we just allow some type of dialogue, right? Because if we get so used to just writing people off and closing them out, bro, I think we close out the opportunity to teach, and we close out the opportunity to learn at the same time. So it's like, fam, just don't be quick to shut people down. A lot of things happen in the news, and we don't even have to go into what happened. Y'all know the hot topics. We don't have to cover the hot topics here. But, you know, I will say this is just me speaking. We got to start allowing some type of grace in these situations so they can be learning opportunities for everybody involved. That's all I got to say on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got a point. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think, you know, for me, it's really about people connecting with what's going on in their brain before they jump on the bandwagon of somebody else's. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like people have relinquished their own intelligence, you know, too much. And like, you know, base their literally the way that their brain works, or the way that they perceive that it works, they are basing that off of what they're scrolling across their phones, as opposed to like what's happening up here, you know. And it's just, people have to realize like the stuff that you are viewing and the stuff that I'm like everything, all the stuff that we're consuming, there has to be like that. You just have to take it with a grain of salt. There has to be a point where it begins, but a point where it ends for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then reality has to happen after that. Like this cannot be the basis of your reality. You got to have your own way of thinking, and be able to like express it and be open to somebody else's too.
Yeah.
It don't mean you got to agree with it. It don't mean, that, it doesn't even mean necessarily have to tolerate it. It just means allow them to be them. But you need to be sure that you know what's going on in your brain too.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Well, Corey, you had anything you wanted to go before we get into this Ask a Black Man?
Not really, man. Just echoing what y'all saying. Just sometimes just hear people out. I mean, if you agree with them, fine. If you don't, it is what it is. But I think when you get to a certain level in life, as far as notoriety, or you're famous or this, that, and the other, you have to kind of take a step back. And I guess that that comes with the territory. Some things you might not be able to see. I mean, somebody can counsel me. I mean, whatever. It's not like I'm on social media like that anyway. So they probably say, "Who is this guy?" So, but yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory. But at the same time, it's just like, if it's something that's just flat out wrong, okay, obviously, I mean, it's going to be some backlash for that. But for a lot of things, just hear people out and let them express themselves.
Absolutely. Before I get to Ask a Black Man, I did want to just do some shout outs, man, because we had a lot of comments came in. So shout out to one of our new listeners, Lydell. They said yo, I was searching Apple Podcasts for motivation around productivity. I've been struggling with procrastination and being overwhelmed on my job lately. Everything I found was led by white men, which I could only resonate with so much. So I literally just searched for Black men to see what type of resources were out there for us, and your podcast was at the top. I clicked listen and subscribe after hearing the type of content you all were putting out. So shout out to you for that. That was dope. That was a super dope comment. It went on to say, I just wanted to let y'all know that I love what y'all are doing in general, and even more as Black men. That's he said he stumbled across the podcast again. Looking for something more inspirational than just searching on YouTube, which often led me to doom scrolling, time wasted via distractions. This has literally been a godsend. Please believe that I'm spreading the word and telling a friend to tell a friend. So shout out to you, fam. We really appreciate it. Just sending those kind words. And he also gave us some constructive criticism as well about the audio. Look, we understand. We really want to get back to in one place. We're right now, all three of us we are in the city, but we're spread out significantly. So we hear y'all, and we don't want y'all to think that we're not paying attention to what y'all saying. We are working on that. And one way that we can increase on that is if y'all support us on Patreon. And this is just not an ad for it, but honestly, y'all subscribing to Patreon does allow us to circulate some more funding for us to do some things that we need to do, like fix some of the audio. So we are working on getting everybody mics, the same cameras, all of that stuff. But that's going to be a process, and that's just us being honest and super transparent with y'all. But thank you for the kind words, and also thank you for the constructive criticism, because we ain't above that at all. We hear exactly what y'all think. So. Also shout out to brother Walt. Walt, he is a Patreon member, and he sent us a DM, was just saying about, what do y'all think about doing a book club? So I'm like, fam, I love the idea of doing a book club. I think it'll be something pretty cool to do. I don't know exactly how we would implement it and make it work, but I'm definitely down to explore some type of book club idea. And just
that just reminded me that I'm behind on assignment we supposed to be working on in the crew. With
I am
you know, I
too.
know Chris brought up a book that we all supposed to be, you know, get in and start reading.
You know what? Let's do it here then, bro. Because we doing this within our core group, with our group chat. So the book that we're reading is excuse me, the what is it? Miseducation of the Negro, right?
The Negro, yeah.
By Carter G. Woodson. So let's just do it here. Let's do it here. We already doing with the crew. Let's do it here on the podcast. So that's the book that we're reading, The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. If you don't have the book, I use Tidal. I'm sure if it's on Tidal, it should be everywhere else, but the audio book is on Tidal. Let's just go through it and read. Like, we can keep it simple. We can keep it simple. Let's start with chapter 1.
Yep.
Let's start with chapter 1, and we'll give everybody, and we're working this in real time, y'all. So like we might have to change how we do this over time, but let's do chapter 1. Chapter 1 is called The Seat of the Trouble. Let's read that, and in a couple of weeks, let's come back and discuss chapter 1.
Okay.
I think that's fair. A couple of weeks to give everybody an opportunity to go through it and read it or listen to the audiobook for it. And yeah, I think that's fair. I think we can do that. We can make that happen. See how long. Chapter 1 on Tidal is only 11 minutes and 45 seconds, fam. You got 11 minutes and 45 seconds because you listen to this podcast for about 40 minutes. So check it out and let's discuss it in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Cool with you too, Corey? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Corey got on his muscle shirt, man.
Over there looking like Bruce Leroy.
Dope, muscle shirt and a do-rag, boy. I tell you, boy. All right, man. Look, man, we appreciate y'all for real. We about to go and jump on Patreon for a second and talk to our fam over there. If you're interested in those conversations, our Black Afterthoughts podcast, make sure you subscribe to our Patreon account. Sign up for whatever tier you're interested in. We have a couple of levels there. Any support is greatly appreciated. So with that being said, make sure y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
The Black Men Think Podcast.